So good to see you both again. We've had a couple of sessions where we've had a chance to, first of all, for me to meet Tony and Alexis and to talk to them more about the things I shared with you around the high-risk behaviors, the 3 outcomes of young adulthood, and really looking at some of the skills you need to develop in order to be able to get that job, keep the job, and create more happiness for yourself. I think, and one of the good things has been, I think, in the last session where both Tony and Alexis were not just part of the process, but you could tell that the 4 of you, are really starting to operate more as a team. The parents seem to be much more respectful in asking versus telling, and I think you and your brother are getting better at understanding how the things you're doing in the home and even the questions your parents have can give you a chance to develop those skills of being independent, having one good friend, and staying out of jail. So there's been a lot of progress, which is really, really important. I've also seen a change in the emotional component. I don't know if you remember the first session, it was pretty negative for both of you. We're still communicating, but communicating negative things. In the last session, it was really great to see how well you were able to communicate the kind of, I think, mutual support that you've been able to give each other. And I think that really bodes well for the family. Okay?
I think I've made a lot of progress.
I like that you're going to school every day.
Yeah. Is that the progress she's talking
I
about?
think that's a big deal. That was one of my biggest
That's
concerns.
your input. What's one thing your mom's done that's been helpful? The change you've seen in her.
She bugs me less.
Okay.
She's like, she talks to me like a little bit more of an adult sometimes.
Okay.
And
So
she
she's
acts
improving.
a little more like an adult sometimes.
Okay. So we see some improvement, but we're not fully there, but that's the nature of families. One of the things I want to talk to you both today, and you're going to have to kind of take this home and try it out with Alexis and Tony, is the concept of family meetings. So this is the second to last session. We're going to do a follow-up in about 6 weeks. But one of the things I want you to do is each week we've been meeting and talking at this time and really having people talk about what's going on that's doing well, and what are some of the things that are not going so well. And it's good to do it as a family and not necessarily every week, but it would be nice between now and the time we meet again, you can have at least 2 or 3 family sessions where you can just sit down together without any technology and just be able to talk a little bit and listen about and use the active listening techniques we've talked about and practiced, and use those so that you guys can really learn more about each person's perspective, what's going on well in their lives and in the family, and also what are some of the challenges both personally and maybe as a family. Okay?
No Facebook, Mom.
Okay.
I don't even have Facebook. I got rid of it when I asked you to get rid of yours.
Okay, good. Did you know that?
No.
Okay, so it might be, that's an important thing when you're asking your daughter to get rid of Facebook, that you're willing to do it yourself. So we'll have to look a little bit at what kept you from talking about that. But let me first make sure we have this down, the idea of the family meetings. And one of the things that we're looking at in the family meeting is trying to get a sense of, like I said, what's going on in everybody's lives, and a chance to kind of just focus in on what's going well and maybe what is not going so well. So if we imagine this is a family meeting, and let's say I'm going to run it, usually you pick one person to run it. It should rotate once the parents have run a family meeting. It's great if you guys can each have a chance to run the family meeting, and it's not rocket science. It does have a little bit of a format. So it begins with just going around the room and asking, what's something that is going well for you, or what's something that you're thankful for. Maybe something that's going well for you in your personal life, and maybe something you're thankful for about the family in the last 2 weeks, let's say. Do you want to start, or do you want Mom to start?
Oh, like we have to do it right now?
Yeah, I'd like to practice that.
I'll start.
Okay, so what's one thing that's been going on in your life that makes you happy, that's a good thing that's going on with you?
I raised my grade in English
Okay.
from a C to a C+.
Okay, great. How does that make you feel about yourself?
Good, because the teacher was being unfair anyways, and so I feel like this is like the grade that I deserve, but I also feel like it's like, I guess I'm kind of like having more fun in the class now that I'm not afraid of like going down to like a C- or D.
That's great. Did it take a lot of extra effort or
No, I just
focus?
had to turn in like all my late work.
So just finishing the job.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's good. And that's impressive that you don't, it sounds like you don't like the teacher, you thought she was unfair, and yet you're also able to deal with it and still improve. That's really impressive. It's easy to get stuck in the unfairness. Sounds to me like you moved past that to help yourself, and now you're feeling better. That's great. What's one thing you're thankful for in the family?
I'm thankful that my dad's been calling us more. Like, even if he's not around, he's been, since you talked to him, he's been like calling like at least once every few days to check in with us.
If he doesn't reach you, does he leave voicemails now?
Yeah, he leaves voicemails, and like my mom, like I know that he talks to my mom more.
I know the voicemails can kind of seem like a hassle because it seems to take a little bit longer. Does it feel better than the texts that he used to send you? Because he used to.
Yeah, because the like I hear his voice, and like because I just like I think I told you in like the first session that I felt like I didn't know him, and like now I feel like I know him, getting to like know him better.
Yeah. And do you think hearing the tone of his voice when he leaves the voicemails makes a difference? Yeah, your dad doesn't,
Yeah.
he's a man of few words, but he certainly shows his emotions a lot in both, in how he says things and the tone. He
Yeah.
has a real warm tone, your dad does. Okay.
Yeah.
Mom, what's one thing that good going on in your personal life?
I got a raise at work.
Okay, that's good. It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have more responsibilities or just a time raise?
A little more responsibility, yeah, and
Okay.
time too. I've been there 5 years
Okay.
now, so.
Okay, that's great. And anything you're thankful for in the family?
I'm thankful that since we've been coming to see you, both kids seem to be cooperating more than I expected. And also that my husband has been checking in, so I feel a little more supported by him even though he's not.
Yeah.
He's still not around.
It was really helpful when we were able to do that Skype session where you Skyped in from the hotel from back, the motel from back east, because I think we used FaceTime, just being able to see his face and have him be a part of it is really important. So I appreciate him making that change in his schedule. So we've talked about the positive things in your lives, something you're thankful for with the family. Now we kind of want to move to maybe a challenge, and maybe have you experienced? Is there something in the family that you think could improve, Debbie? And maybe just specifically, is there something you think you'd like the family to improve in that would make your life better?
Well, I think that like my mom is still like, you know, like not wanting me to go out as much, and like, and all the seniors are starting to do fun things, and like I just want to do fun things with my senior friends. And I also feel like it's unfair that like I don't think she is as strict with my brother, and like I feel like she's just like got all these worries about me because I'm like her daughter, and like because he's a boy, like she's not like as worried about him, but she should be more worried about him, I think.
Okay, so a sense that you're wanting to do more fun things because the seniors are doing it. Your mom's a little hesitant to have you go out, and also that you feel like your brother maybe is getting away with things that or he's being treated differently than you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Now normally in a family meeting, it would be a good chance to go back and forth to explain, not
I
so
can
much
go back and forth.
to really pay attention. Well, I think what we'll do right now is I want to, and so what's the thing you think you would, what's the most important thing you think you would like your mom to try to improve on this next week? Something you think she can do, you'd like her to try to do more of?
I just like want her to not immediately say no to everything. Like, can't I just explain first
Okay,
before
so-
she says
okay,
no?
okay.
Like, why does it, like, it's just like, the second I open my mouth, can I, it's like, no.
Yeah,
It's like,
okay.
That's
yeah.
not true.
Yeah, well, let me just say, if that were to happen, what do you think would cause you to say no right away before exploring it? What feeling do you think you'd have that would
It had to take the SAR thing to get her to turn in her assignment and get up to a C+. She's really, really smart.
Mhm.
I can't even imagine what she could do if she just applied herself more to her studies, and I think she should do that before she asks to go out.
Okay.
So I think the potential that I know she has is being wasted because she just wants to go out and party. all the
So I
time.
get a sense that you're anxious about what she's doing and whether or not how she's managing her time, right? What
Yes.
she's asking for this week is, I think, something that it sounds like you would be able to do. And she's asking for you to, when she asks to do something, that you talk with her about it and get explanations before saying no. I think she wants to
Excuse me.
have you be patient and maybe open-minded as you listen to her and ask questions about what you're worried about, ask questions about what things you're concerned about, because that way she can give you information and it'll more fully inform your choice of whether or not you say yes or no. Is that something you can do, rather than saying no right away?
Listen to the whole story first.
Yeah, and ask questions.
Sure.
Before you
I
say
can do
no.
that.
Okay, so let's see. That's something when we check in on the follow-up. That might be something to, if she doesn't,
We'll test her on
to
it.
check it, okay. And also a chance to check in on the family meetings, okay? What's one thing you would like Debbie to do this next week that would help you, that you think she can do?
I think she can put a little more effort into bringing her grades up.
Okay. And is that something you'd like to do? Spend more effort to bring your grades up?
I mean, I don't want to do it. I can, I don't want to,
Is it something you think you need to do?
sometimes.
Well, one of the things is when we looked at the chart about the 2 years of college, college is a bump up academically. It's really a bump up in having to manage your time yourself more because you're not in school as much, but you have more out of class time. And we talked about the chance to double your earnings and reduce your unemployment in half. So it seems to me like even now in high school, those are skills you can start practicing. So you do want to improve your grades?
I mean, yeah, if I could like have straight A's tomorrow, I'd take them.
Wouldn't it be nice to just blink your,
Yeah.
but of course that's gonna take some work, won't it? But you
But she
move-
used to have straight A's.
Yeah,
She's so
sure.
smart.
Well, it shows what she's capable of. It's also a bump up in terms of effort.
Of course.
I am impressed that you went from a C to a C plus in a relatively short period of time. And so I think one of the things you need to talk about, and we'll talk in just a moment about that, is more about what are your, maybe a dialogue to help you look more at where are your grades, which are the ones you think you can improve on, if there's any help you need from mom or anyone else in the family to be able to do that, okay? So the family meeting, just to summarize, is having one person kind of be the moderator, kind of take my role, asking about one good thing that they're feeling good about with themselves, and one thing they're thankful or happy about with the family. And after everybody goes around and really listening to each other, then starting to focus on what are some of the challenges you're experiencing, and what's one thing you'd like the family to do.
Do you have like a time limit for that? Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's gonna be like a hard part that like
You mean the challenges part or the
people are gonna
posi-
get stuck on.
Yeah.
She's just gonna want to do it in 5 minutes and
Okay.
take off with Nate.
So what do you think? Do you mind the positive talk if that goes a little long?
That's fine.
Okay, so let's look at the negative talk. What do you think? There's 4 people. How much time do you think it might take?
Like 5 minutes a person.
Well, you know what I think you ought to do? The first time you move to that part, maybe you could note the time when you guys shift to what are some of the challenges and keep track of the time, but not just note the time and then be in the moment. Because if you're in the moment and you're interacting with each other, the time will go by faster rather than because your attention will be distracted. And then see how long it takes. And then you guys can talk about it, but time's important. It's important for people to know, like meeting with me, you've known we usually go about an hour and we usually don't go over unless a crisis happens, and that only happened once. And I think that's settling, okay, I can give an hour. I don't think you'll need an hour, but I think that you'll want to see what it's like the first time. And sometimes if it's going too long, you might want to just focus on the challenges that you can talk about and the help until that time period's up. And then maybe just ask everybody, do we want to go a little bit further, or do we want to stop this and reschedule another time to go?
Well, couldn't we just like do an hour like we do with you, except
Well-
we're doing it at home now?
I think that,
I will do an hour if we can have pizza.
Once a week we can have pizza.
Okay.
there's a family meeting.
No
a week.
pineapple.
Okay, maybe on the side. Hey, I really like the way you guys are able to work with us today. Okay, now the trick is to go home. When we do the follow-up visit in 6 weeks, I'll have the whole family here, and it'll be interesting to see how the family meetings have, whether they've occurred and if they've been helpful or not. Okay? Any questions?
No.
Thank you.